All right, part 3. So this person will definitely want to be a provider for you. Also, please do not make this reading fit if it does not resonate. 404 on the timer. The personal reading code here is on the video, and it's Stargazer17. Please do not make it fit if it does not resonate. If you'd like your own personal reading, you can contact me. My email address is in the bio, or you can direct message me on TikTok. Either one works. This is the part 3, so if it resonates, go back to part 1 and 2, but this is the final one. So should you choose the second pathway, which is being single, maybe even being celibate for the better half of 2026, around cuffing season, confirmation, in the fall, you will find a King of Swords that wants to come in and cherish you and replenish you and fill those cups for you. There was even a puppy involved. This person wants to be a provider, and it will transform the way you think about love should you go down this path. Again, but the other path that presented itself was potentially an ex. Not sure 100% on that one, but there is going to be a charmer coming in that wants to treat you just like all the other exes do. So you could take a longer road, a bumpier road, a shorter road. But Spirit's encouraging you to think about your transformations and the healing journey that you could work on, because you have been so screwed over by so many exes that were not for you, because they gave you and presented you so much false love offers, manipulators, gaslighters, narcissists, that really just wanted to use and abuse you, and you deserve so much better. And so Spirit's encouraging you that should you take the second path and spend the rest of the year pouring love into yourself and working on you and doing your healing journey, you have a beautiful King of Swords coming your way that literally wants to just love you and provide for you in a way that you are not used to. It very much showed like this person is, they want to take care of you, they want to love you, they want to pour into you because they feel that with you, because you've done so much healing should you choose that path. So this final part 3, let's get some of the traumas that Spirit is encouraging you should you take that path. But either way, self-healing and self-love is always important. Staying away from toxic relationships is going to be one of the biggest ones. Ooh. Unbalanced ego flew under here, and it's card 13. Oh, toxic relationships is card 37. 37, I believe, came up in part 1 or 2. Aligning your inner world with your outer world. You may have kind of gone after the type of guys that had an unbalanced ego, but you kind of thought of it as confidence, and they tried to play it off like, no, I'm not cocky, whatever, I just, there were a lot of unbalanced egos that you were going after, because you may like that people carry confidence within themselves, but it's understanding the difference between confidence and actual unbalanced egos. And obviously, staying away from these toxic relationships is going to be key here. It's going to be key here. And it doesn't show that you have an unbalanced ego. So that's beautiful. That's good. Betrayal wounds. You may have a lot of trust issues, which is completely understandable because you haven't had a lot of healthy love given back to you. Again, you weren't replenished in the way you were giving love. The way people treated you and the mind fucks, the mind games that they played with you may also give you a bit of a fear of separation. People may have said this was clingy, and it's not necessarily clingy. It's just remember that you and the love you pour into yourself is enough. You technically don't need external love. You have enough love inside of you to fulfill that for you. The mindset of self-love is, I can fulfill all of those needs myself, but it is nice. It's like a bonus. Like it's like an extra reward to have someone externally fill those cups for us. Past lessons came up. Understanding who you selected as partners and why, and the themes and that they all had in common. How were they convincing and manipulating you and gaslighting you? Those are the red flags to look for going forward, so you don't repeat the past lessons with these skeezy people that wear a lot of masks and are really charming with these unbalanced egos. They're really good at breadcrumbing, gaslighting, manipulating. They can't do it for very long, but they still do it for enough time to reel you in, right? If it's too good to be true, maybe take things slow. And it shows that your King of Swords, should you choose that path, they take it slow. And it's almost like it's because You may have multiple conversations in the beginning where you kind of talk about what you had experienced and what you healed from should you choose that path. And they understand the slowness that needs to build that trust with you. You may have a lot of rejection wounds still that need to be healed from, which a shadow work journal is amazing. Journaling, grounding, meditating, yoga, again, self-love activities, and understanding you're worthy. Just because somebody manipulated and gaslit you doesn't mean that you were necessarily doing something that caused this. That's on them, right? You weren't begging them to gaslight you and manipulating you. You were asking for truth and clarity, love. You can't make your worth and value dependent on what others do, because those ones were the wrong ones. You were at the wrong address. It's not you, right? The only part you played in this, as far as like you selected these people or you ignored the red flags, which we all do. We've all been there, right? That's why I have this healing TikTok. I've ignored a lot of red flags in my day, right? But it's learning how to have strong boundaries within yourself, how to heal some of these wounds so you don't repeat the past and you don't have these rejection wounds. It also showed transgenerational karma, being inspired by your family's history instead of maybe being embarrassed or something of that nature. You may not like to talk about your childhood or your family sometimes, and Spirit's encouraging you. This may be an important piece of all of this, and continue to do so without fear of people criticizing or judging you, because the right people will not judge you for the mistakes or the things that you had to deal with growing up, or maybe drama ensued from your family dynamic. I focus on my well-being. Card 27. Remember that you always come first. You don't need these loves, but you want them sometimes, or it's a bonus, right? Your well-being always comes first, even when you're in relationships, even if it's a healthy relationship. You can't take care of others and you can't love others properly if you don't love yourself. So always maintaining your own kind of existence where your self-love comes first so you can pour more into others. Manipulation is still kind of heavy here, and abandonment wounds, which it makes a lot of sense because of what you've been through. And the abandonment wound card looks like this. The manipulation. Again, it's really going to be your healing journey and your self-love and strong, incredibly strong boundaries for you. The second that you bring awareness to anyone trying to gaslight you or manipulate you, you're out. And that's kind of the mentality you may have to have, dodging these false people, these false soulmates, these false people trying to give you false love, until you're comfortable and you can just clock it immediately and go, no, I'm staying clear of that one. I'm staying clear of that one because they're not for me. They're not aligned for me. They're not going to pour into me the love that I can pour into them. And always remember, number one indicator, if you're in an unhappy relationship or someone makes you feel kind of cringy, is if you start wondering if you're beautiful or not, or you start feeling down on yourself, or your looks and appearance starts changing in a drastic way because of the relationship you're in. It's usually an easy indicator that someone's just stealing and sucking the soul and the life right out of you. And it may be hard too, card 22, lastly, with feeling like you got injustices in your past relationships. And Spirit's encouraging you, like, you will have allies going forward with those strong boundaries, with healing. Not everybody will do what those people have done to you. You will be able to trust again. You just got to put you first. So I'm really excited. I have a feeling I know which path you're going to choose, and I can't wait to see maybe how your healing journey goes, because I think either way you want to do this healing journey and you want to pour so much self-love into yourself again, because you've been without it for a long time, because these nasty energies tried to steal it from you. 4:13 on the timer. So thank you for letting me do your reading.